Hello all. So, as I said earlier, I was going to do a split pea soup. However, apparently some of my peas fell out of my bag. So, we're going to switch it up and do a split pea-esque soup. So I've got 4 pieces of ham left over from Easter. So it's the ham that I got. It's what I'm going to use. I took off these sides, and then I'm just going to cut them. I'm going to julienne them, and then I'm going to dice them into uniform sized cubes. I'm doing this in the Instant Pot because we played soccer outside a little longer than I had anticipated. So I'm going to add this to about a tablespoon of olive oil that is in the Instant Pot. And once I get all these cooked, or cut rather, I'm going to saute them up. I want the fat from the, mercy. I want the fat from the ham. I want the flavor because that goes really well with peas and being split pea soup, split pea-esque. And I'm going to add to that some diced onions, some garlic, and we'll pause for now. Oh man, totally crying. Just dicing shallots. Okay. So I want to get a nice golden brown color on these, almost like a bacon, right? Like a lardon. So this is going to add a nice flavor profile and some richness from the fat. So I'm going to caramelize all this ham and get it all nice and brown, because brown food is good food. Okay, so they're looking really nice and golden brown. I'm going to take them out and put them on a paper towel lined plate. These I'm going to save until the very end. These are what I plan to garnish the soup with. So, seems like a whole lot of effort, but it's definitely going to be worth it. Okay, so I've added my shallot. I did turn off the heat just because it did get really hot. You see all the burnt bits? Now that's problematic for anyone who owns an Instant Pot, and they sure as hell know it, because that will go into instant burn, ruining your whole dish and mucking everything up. What we're going to do is, when we add our chicken stock, I'm literally going to scrape the bejesus out of this, and by adding the liquid, that's going to help lift everything out. I want all this flavor that's stuck on here. That is going to add a depth to the soup that I wouldn't have had otherwise. I'm going to go ahead, add the shallots are in there, add the garlic, let that go for about 40 seconds, and then I'm going to throw in about a half a cup to a cup of barley and then my split peas. So it's going to be like a barley split pea soup. Roll with the punches, things happen. So I added in another tablespoon of olive oil. I'm turning the heat back on, and I've added about a half a cup of pearl barley. And I'm just going to give this a quick saute, maybe like 30 seconds to a minute, just because I want some color on it. And then I'm going to throw in my whole bag of split peas, or what's left of my whole bag of split peas, which is about half. And then I'm going to hit it with some low sodium chicken stock and maybe some salt and pepper, and then we're going to set it to go. Okay, so I've added in about 3 canisters of chicken broth. Yeah, it took a lot. I'm just at my half level. I don't want to go to max. It is a soup. I don't want it splashing everywhere, regardless of me being by the stovetop here. And the barley is going to absorb quite, a fair amount of the liquid, so it should be a nice hearty soup. That is the goal, and I'm being very diligent at scraping all crevices of my Instant Pot here, so that I don't get that burn notification. And all that is really good flavoring. Now I'm not going to salt or pepper this right now. I want I want to taste it when it's done, and then I will salt and pepper to taste at that point. And you know, also I am putting the lardon, the fried ham, on top. If you don't have ham like that, feel free to use bacon. If you don't, turkey bacon too, why not? And if you don't have bacon, then feel free to use just some deli meat, because that will actually crisp up really nice because it's super thin. You're just gonna have to pay very close attention to it because it will go from placid to crispified in like 45 seconds. So you do have to baby it, but that would be a nice crunch as well, and a very cost-effective solution if you don't have the ingredients that I am using. So at this point, I'm going to shut off the saute. I'm going to put the lid on high, and I'm going to pressure cook it for 18 minutes because I do have pearl barley in there. Once the timer goes off, I'm going to let it depressurize on its own for 10, and then we're going to come back and see what we're working with. Okay, so I've taken off the lid, and it was nice and thick. I gave it a good stir, and it really broke down the peas. To this, I've added a half a cup of chicken stock just to thin it out a bit, because I knew if I put this in front of my toddler, he was like, that's not soup. So it was the perfect consistency for what I would think a split pea soup should be, but trying to feed the palates in this house, no. So if you want the traditional split pea soup and you like it thick, then stick to your ribs. It was beautiful. But to this, I added a half a cup of chicken stock. I'm going to add a tiny bit of salt and pepper to taste, and then we'll give it a shot and see where we are. So my soup is good. It tastes lovely. It's got a nice consistency to it. It is thick and stick to your rib food, but that's alright. So now we're going to walk over here and we're going to cut up the baguette that I had made earlier. I started to slice it and then I realized, oh man, I wanted this in the video, right? I did drop off one of the baguettes to my uncle's. So that is absolutely perfect. It smells lovely. So there you go. Split pea barley soup with a homemade French baguette. Bon appetit.